Welcome to a new episode of the Amista podcast, First Sip, Then Sup. In this episode, we'll explore the latest and greatest developments in SAP, answer various questions our clients frequently ask, so you'll know them too, and of course showcase some relatable use cases. I won't be doing this alone, but alongside colleagues, clients and experts. In this episode, we'll dive into e-invoicing. We will tell you everything about the benefits of e-invoicing, the Peppol network, and how both SAP and Business One users can automate invoicing for accounts payable and accounts receivable. My name is Coen Sanderink, Business Development Manager at Amista. Let's start. Jan, welcome. You're my guest today. And to be really honest to you, the Peppol e-invoicing, it's all actually quite new to me. So I think also to some of our listeners, but also to me. So I'm really happy that you're here. So you can tell me everything about it. And I also hope that our listeners know everything about it. But first, can you introduce yourself?
Yes, Koen. My name is Jan Maenhaut and I'm a Presales Solution Architect at Amista. And I'm working almost 25 years for the document automation business unit.
25 years. So
Yes.
e-invoicing is basically your baby. Well, it's grown up now after 25 years, but...
I wouldn't call it my baby, but I've seen it evolve.
Okay, interesting. So I think you're the right person for this podcast.
Yes, well, I hope so.
So let's start with the What's New section, because in the What's New section we provide an update on the latest and greatest from SAP and the Amista portfolio products. Today we focus on e-invoicing in general and e-invoicing with SAP. For more in-depth information about the subject, we have some very interesting webinars and frequently asked questions, and you can find them in the show notes. We will link them there. I already mentioned it briefly, Peppol. I always think that I always have the association with a pizza topping or also with a kind of robot. You know, that funny robot called Peppol that's helping you and that's entertaining childs and those kinds of things, but it's something different, is it?
Yes. It's certainly not a spicy pizza topping. So, but I get that more. A lot of people confuse it with toppings, with medicines, with apps or robotics. But in fact, it's a network to exchange invoice messages in an electronic structured format.
Okay, and how do I get access to that network?
Well, you need to reach out to a service provider like Amista, and the service provider will onboard you onto the network. It will register your organization onto the network, and I compare it like a mobile phone network.
Yeah.
So, but instead of a phone number that you receive, you will get a unique ID. It's called a participant ID, and with that ID, you can send messages, but also receive messages from suppliers or customers.
You say it's a network, but it's kind of phone network, and a phone network is operated by a provider. But who's operating the Peppol network? How does that work?
It's a European project, and it means there are a lot of stakeholders. So there are in Belgium and in the Netherlands. It's a government who is involved in the operation of the network, and then you have, of course, the service providers who will transform the messages as a Peppol message in a structured format and send and receive those messages to the different business partners.
Okay, and for connecting to the network, I think you will need a kind of piece of software. Is that your ERP software, or what do you need?
Well, when you reach out to such a service provider like Amista, they will onboard you on the Peppol network, but then you need to link, of course, your ERP system or your invoicing system to the network. And at Amista, we have a solution for that. It is called AP Connect for accounts payable or AR Connect for accounts receivable, so that you can exchange incoming and outgoing invoices with the Peppol network.
And is that a new solution, or is it also 25 years old?
That's in fact has been evolved because we started with, in the old days, we started with paper and fax.
Okay,
So we were automating invoices that were received to the mail by paper or by fax, but today fax is not used. Fortunately, of course, it's not used anymore. So
Fortunately?
Luckily, yes. It's not used anymore. So today and tomorrow, e-invoicing will be the majority of the volume. So it has been evolved, but it's quite a new product because we provide it in a cloud flavor specifically to SAP and non-SAP customers.
Okay, so it's ERP agnostic, basically.
Yes, that is correct.
Okay, that's interesting. So you have your ERP software.
Mm-hmm.
You can use Amista to register to the network, to the Peppol network.
Mm-hmm.
There you can send your invoice to your supplier, and that supplier also has to be on the network.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. It will be your customer. Yes. You send the
invoice to
the customer.
Of course. Thank you.
Which is
you're very sharp.
On the network.
Very sharp. Yeah. So you send it to your customer, or you receive it from your supplier. Yes. That's it. But you both have to be on the Peppol network.
Yes.
Your customer receives it and pays it basically, or you receive an invoice from your supplier and then you have to pay it.
Yes, but of course you don't want to pay it automatically. You want to implement some checks, some procedures, because now today you also do that for email invoices with PDF. You check it with the purchase order. You assign a GL account, cost center. You have an approval flow, and when everything is okay, you are willing to pay the invoice or the amount to your supplier. And that is also what is those functionalities are within the AP Connect software. So, but instead of receiving the invoice by email, it supports next to email and paper also Peppol invoices, and you will of course follow the uniform procedure and processes as you do with email and PDF invoices.
Okay. But it's a what's new section. So is this new, or is this already old, or is it already long existing? Or
what is new is that since mid last year we provided the cloud solution, especially for SAP Business One.
Okay.
And Peppol, in fact, will become mandatory in Belgium. So it's, I think, a hot topic. So that's why it's worth spending a word and talk about it in the What's New section today.
Yeah, okay. Well, that's something that we have done very well. And I still have a ton of questions, Jan.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's time to move to the Q&A, to be really honest. Because... let's go back a little bit. I mean, let's start with the basics. Nowadays, you receive an email from your customer, or you send an email to your customer, you receive it from your supplier. It's still a little bit difficult for me. That's why I say I'm not an expert. But you receive it from your supplier. You receive an email with a PDF where the invoice is. Is that already e-invoicing, or is that not e-invoicing?
No. So e-invoicing is a specific coded message that you receive. So email with PDF is not an e-invoice. So and it cannot be received or sent by mail. E-invoicing. So it's the specific network, and Europe mandates to use a specific network instead of using email with PDF.
And is Peppol then the only network that you can use?
Europe supports or promotes Peppol. Any EDI format that supports the regulations of the e-invoicing European regulation or complies with that regulation can be used. But unfortunately, there are not a lot. And Peppol is the one that is mainly used, so that's why it's promoted as the preferred network.
Okay, but then the big advantage is emails get stuck in spam filters, for example.
Yes,
so
but not only that, because what the invoice is contained as an attachment, and now a lot of organizations are just manually copying the information from the PDF file into their financial software. And with the e-invoicing message, you do not have to copy and paste it anymore, because it's a structured message the e-invoice, and it can be automatically translated into your financial software. That means less errors, faster processing, and less worries.
Okay. That's clear. Will the PDF disappear?
A good question.
A
good question, because a lot of people think that because in Belgium it will be mandatory to send and receive Peppol invoices from the 1st of January 26, but that is within the scope of Belgium. So only VAT liable organizations need to send or receive Peppol.
VAT liable? What's
yes,
VAT
liable. That means if you are an organization that does not have to apply VAT onto the invoice.
What is VAT?
BTW.
BTW. Oh, yeah. VAT.
So if you do not apply VAT onto your invoice, you do not have to use Peppol. And if you look abroad, if you are exchanging goods or services with suppliers, foreign suppliers in an international way, then the foreign supplier is not obliged to provide you a Peppol invoice. So that means in that case, you will still receive maybe paper or PDF invoices. So
okay,
it's a mix.
So it's not forbidden.
It's for those foreign suppliers and those specific businesses, it is not forbidden. No, if you, however, within your country, you need to comply with your regulations, of course.
So what happens if it's January the 2nd and I still send PDF invoice to my customer, or I receive an invoice for my supplier? What happens?
Yes. Well, then the Peppol police will hunt you down. No,
arrest you.
Yes. No, we will not know what we don't know what will happen. But in fact, you need to comply with the regulations, and the regulations, they stipulate that in Belgium from the 1st of January you need to send and receive e-invoices.
But are there penalties, or not known yet?
Yeah, not known at this moment. They are not. We are not aware of any penalties. But what we see is that from today, but even larger organizations are currently pushing onto to exchange invoices via Peppol. So the enterprises, the large businesses will start using Peppol before the 1st of January. So, and if you want to do business with those customers, then they will ask you to provide the invoices via Peppol.
Yeah. Okay.
And no Peppol, no business. So
no Peppol, no business. So,
yeah.
So I think that's a good reason to transfer. You mentioned already AP Connect, but do you need to have SAP for that or not? Or Business One?
It's AP Connect supports both SAP, S4HANA, and SAP Business One.
Okay.
So the end goal, of course, is when you receive an invoice that is posted in your financial software. But AP Connect is also ERP agnostic, so that means we support up to 40 different ERP systems. But I think the listeners of this podcast probably will be more familiar with the SAP environments.
Yeah, okay. So that's for Belgium and Netherlands.
Yes.
When is that mandatory over there?
Well, it's in fact already mandatory in the Netherlands, but only in business to government invoicing.
Okay.
So if you need to provide your invoice to the government of the Netherlands, then you need to provide it as an e-invoice. But in business to business scenarios, there is no legislation yet, so there's not any date set yet.
Okay. And when I would do business, for example, with America or with Asia, with, I don't know, Japan or Korea or whatever, can I also use Peppol then? Or do I have to comply to other regulations?
It depends. It depends if you have a branch or an establishment in that foreign country, yes or no. So if you don't have an establishment in that specific country, in most cases, you can provide email with PDF invoice. So there is in most cases, no legislations that stipulates that you need to send an e-invoice. If, however, you have a local establishment, then you have to comply with the local rules. So that means if you, for example, in Italy they have the SDI network instead of Peppol. then they mandate that you post an invoice on the SDI network with the SDI format.
Okay, but when I use AP Connect, for example, can I also do that then with AP Connect? Or do I need some other software
because
for that?
thanks to AP Connect, Amista will translate your invoice automatically into the SDI specific format. So that means that with one solution, it doesn't matter if you send an invoice to Italy, to the Netherlands, to Belgium. Our software will translate it into the correct format, so you don't have to.
And we support all countries worldwide, basically?
Because every country has a specific deadline, a different deadline. So, of course, we are now supporting the ones where the legislation is already in place, and many countries will follow, and we will follow the legislation of those countries.
Okay, that's clear. So now I'm listening, and then I think, okay, I need Peppol, but... how long does it take to implement? I mean,
it depends, because we have a standard solution, so we can onboard easily if the customers will fit to the standard. But if they have specific needs, additional requirements, then we first sit together, we talk, we listen, and see if we can fit with their specific needs.
Yeah, but the typical implementation project, how long does it take?
Well, for SAP Business One, where we provide the public cloud solution of AP Connect, it takes like 1 month between the first kickoff and then going live after testing and training sessions. And that is for AP Connect, the accounts payable part, because there you have an impact on the process. You need to approve, to match the invoice, post it with the correct GL account. For the outgoing side, it's even faster, because all the invoice information is already in SAP.
Yeah,
so it's just a translation. It's just a technical step that we need to provide. So within a week, you are up and running.
Okay, so, but typically it takes at least a month, and if you haven't done anything, then you should probably speed up.
Well, better not to wait too long, because when every business in Belgium is waiting until the last month of 25, nobody will be able to provide them a Peppol solution in the last month.
I can imagine. And I think you will be a very busy man the last... Do you already feel the pressure from the market that it's ramping up?
It's we see a lot of requests, so and it will get faster, crazier. Yeah. So if you wait, I think you will not be ready in time.
Okay. Well, then it's good to get started, and we have something for that for our listeners. But before going there, for me, it's a little bit more clear. I don't have any questions. Do you have anything to share that I didn't ask? That listeners really need to know.
Yeah, there's a lot to tell, and for that we have our webinars. We have all the question and information published on our website.
Yeah, so we publish them in the show notes, so there you can find them. But we also have a prize, because it's important to start today, basically. And now we still have some time. So to help the listeners to start, we have a prize.
Okay.
Do you want to say it, or do I have to say it? Yeah?
You can tell it, yeah?
They didn't tell you, did it, what the prize is?
No.
You have no idea, Jan?
No.
No, okay, the prize is you. You
Me?
are the prize. Yeah, they can have you for a day.
Okay. I don't know if my wife is happy with that news.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know either, because maybe you a lot of people want to have you for a day, but it's only to explain or to implement Peppol. Basically, for 1 day, how you can do it, what they have to do. So no car washing, no dishwashing,
I understand.
No vacuum, whatever.
Yeah.
So
Jan
only
for a day.
Jan for a day. No do-it-yourself things. Just that. And if the listeners want to have that, then they can mail to podcast@amista.com with a short motivation. Of course, their name and their company name. Actually, basically, during whole 25, we will pick a winner each month.
Okay.
But if you are at the end, then I think you should really hurry up, basically. then we are at the end of the podcast, Jan. I think, thank you very much.
Well,
You helped me a lot.
Thank you for inviting me.
Yeah, you're more than welcome, Jan.
Okay.
And to our listeners, I hope you learned a little bit about Peppol and the Peppol network. And don't wait too long. I think that's the main message of this podcast. So thank you for listening and good luck.
Okay. Thank you. First step.
Then sup.
Cheers.